I'm going to show in this video real quick. I've had a shifter issue beginning to get pretty bad. I have my 97 Explorer. Has some miles on it. Not 189 and change. But the shifter, I've been having trouble with it starting in park. And if I don't have it just right or pushed up all the way, sometimes it won't stay in park either. So what I've got is the column pulled down. It's pretty easy to do. Just a bunch of screws, some common tools, Torx bits, things like that. You take off the kick plate, the trim panel, the dive plate, the steel plate going across underneath the dash, and you loosen your steering column and set it down on the seat. Make sure the wheel's tilted all the way down. Take off your upper column trim, and what you have is these bushings. You see this one isn't even in the right place, but as you try to shift, these guys get all blown out. Now this one actually had two parts. It had the bushings screwed up, which I have new ones here from Ford. It comes two into the package, and they have them in stock usually at any dealership because they use these columns in pretty much every Ford product in the 90s. There's two bolts at the very end where the cable shifter arm bolts to the end of the tube, and both the screws were loose also. So I tried tightening those first with some Loctite, and that did not work. It's still very floppy, but you can see the bushings aren't even in the right place. The shoulders wear off them and they fall out. So you take your handy dandy wrench with a Torx socket, crack these little guys loose, and you pull these little bearings out. Kind of like a main bearing cap in an engine. You pull these guys out. Pull the bearing cap off. Slide your bushing out. Make sure where these are, if it's worn to a certain point, these guys can actually, I've seen them break in half at a diagonal from the metal getting thin and rubbing itself on those bearing blocks and cracking in half, which Ford usually has these in stock as well. That's a very, very common problem. So you get your new bushing, slide it in place, tighten the blocks up, get your column up, and then make sure your shift indicator is lining up and that you're engaging in the proper clicks when you pull it down to park and neutral so that the starter works fine. But, that's how you fix a quick shifter, or fix a shifter real quick on a Ford.